for who would lose. Though full of pain, this intellectual being, those thoughts that wander through eternity, to perish rather, swallowed up and lost in the wide womb of uncreated night.
The fate of destruction is also the joy of rebirth.
The battle has been joined. With a host of EVAs under their direct command, the military might of the Cella organization stands poised to wrest control of NERV's greatest achievement, EVA Unit 1. It alone holds the key to humanity's final fate. But the ultimate choice to cast out the world we know rests with one young man. Beyond jealousy and betrayal, beyond hate and desire, beyond pain and death, lies the ultimate revelation. The final choice. The end.
We have begun Third Impact.
The end of Evangelion.
This film can be taken in three ways. One, it can replace the original ending to Neon Genesis Evangelion entirely. Two, it can be viewed as an alternate ending. And three, it can also be viewed alongside the final 2 episodes of the show, which I pretend it doesn't exist. This was a highly anticipated anime feature film for its time, and the experience is unforgettable. Either you loved it, or you hated it, because Evangelion is a love-hate type of series. And with that said, here is the end of Evangelion. The End of Evangelion is a Gainax production, and they really made quite the impression for most people. The first half is very good. There is spectacular action scenes which were present from the TV series, but in this movie it goes full force and all out. As for the second half, we are given philosophical, metaphorical, artistic, and ambiguous imagery and dialogue for about the majority of the second half of this film. If you wonder why I'm not mentioning much detail about all this, because this is another mindfuck ending filled in with this philosophical, psychological, metaphorical, mind-boggling imagery that is a bit hard to decipher, which makes this ending a bit ambiguous, just like the TV show's ending, but more visual. The animation in this movie is a huge upgrade to the show. It looks twice as better than the show, and the obvious reason is that the movie has a bigger budget than the TV show, which had a hard time keeping up with the budget. It is done well for its time, and the action scenes are spectacular in this movie. Gainax really went balls to the wall in 1997, and this film proved it by then. Although I do not understand what the point of the live action scene is, but I suppose it's supposed to be artistic and some shit like that. When it comes to voice acting, the Japanese cast goes all out here. They have reached their peak with the characters in this movie. The English dub is nowhere at the same level. The dub is below hit and miss than the TV show. I have watched this movie both dubbed and subtitled, and I did not enjoy the dubbed version that much. I also have something technical to bring up in this film regarding language tracks. There is a cartoonish sound effect added in the dub in some scenes. It added nothing to the film, and it felt out of place. ADR director Amanda Wynn Lee, who was the voice of Rei Ayanami in the original series and this movie, thought it would be a good idea to add this cartoonish sound effect. I could not accept this at all. If you want to know what sound effect I'm talking about, find the scene where Masato kills a JSSDF soldier in the first half of the movie. Also, some sound effects that came from the Evangelions are different in the dub. Fine by me, But Manga Entertainment sure had the balls to include all that in the 5.1 Japanese audio track and leave the stereo 2.0 track with the original sound effects intact with no additions so forth. I am not kidding. Compare the 5.1 and 2.0 Japanese tracks and hear it for yourself. I was a bit cheated by Manga Entertainment with their treatment of this movie. The music by Shiro Sagisu is haunting and mesmerizing on most notes. It really fits the atmosphere of the movie. Come Susutod was a really interesting one to hear, because when the world starts, ending, we hear a happy sounding catchy tune that is about suicide. The music is great during its first half and great during its mindfuck of a second half. I'm afraid I don't have much to say about the end of Evangelion. Now, I'm not implying that this movie is bad. In fact, I think it's really good. It's just, the end of Evangelion is a rather difficult subject matter for me to ramble for 5 more minutes. So I'm just going to make this a short and simple review of a very complicated anime film. Neon Genesis Evangelion, the end of Evangelion, was available by Manga Entertainment, and unfortunately it is out of print. Overall, the end of Evangelion is a visual feast, but it is not everyone's cup of tea. There are some things to like and some things not to like. When it comes to Evangelion, it is an anime that gives you a kind of feeling that can go in different ways, and this varies from person to person as well. Some will say it is awesome, some would say it is brilliant, some people will love it, some people will hate it. All I can say is that this anime is ambitious and unique. It is ambitious that it puts in action, philosophy, psychological intrigue, religious symbolism, and metaphors, and puts them all together. It is unique that they tie in all these elements and put them in with the relationships of these characters. This show is not all about giant robots or action. It's about these characters that go through a lot of things, and the show really displays that humans are fragile, whether it's mentally or physically. This is probably a safe bet that this is the series' biggest strength. Its weakness is probably that it has too much ambition. Is this an anime that will interest you into a psychology class? Maybe. Is this anime the greatest ever made? Not at all. I don't think it is worthy of being graded a 10 out of 10. Is this anime overrated? Yes. But I don't think it's terrible. I like it. I have already said this in my review of the TV show that this was my real gateway to anime. Pokemon was the first, but that was an Americanized version, and I don't think it really counts much. I give Neon Genesis Evangelion, the end of Evangelion, a 9. If you like this review, feel free to hit the like button. And if you would like to watch my newest reviews as soon as possible after they are released, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And, as always, feel free to leave me a comment if you feel so inclined. Thanks for watching, and shine on like a legend.